So I'm working here on this BLT Plus antenna tuner. It's a kit provided by Hendrix QRP kits. It's a QRP matching unit to do balanced and unbalanced feed lines connecting to your QRP transceiver, no more than 5 watts. The Plus version has this LED kit, SWR indicator in it. Very handy. We'll see how it works. This is my first kit since a long time. So I've always been intimidated by winding toroids. I've been reading books about it, looking at it. Had never anybody explained to me how to wind these darn things. So that was one of my reasons to buy a kit. Now I bought a kit, and frankly, to be honest, the instructions for winding the toroid were very confusing to me. It still was not clear how to do it. I saw on the online PDF file that they provide that there are 3 different methods, and it gave me some pictures, and I went like, okay, that's fine. I should be able to figure it out. Well, not quite, but hey, after a while I figured it out. I learned a few things in the process, and I want to share this with you. I ended up cutting off the wrong length of wire, and of course I did not provide you enough length, so I had to, insulate a piece of stripped wire with a piece of tape, and not kind of nice. I'm not even sure if it will work properly this way. And also having everything in the same color gets rather confusing which wire to connect where. Also, I needed a piece of bare copper wire to connect up here and make some other connections inside, and the wire wasn't included with the kit. Since I don't have a junk box full of stuff, I needed to replenish it. Went to Radio Shack, they didn't sell it, and I ended up at the local craft store where I found this Darico Craft Designer copper wire. 16 gauge, beautiful, nice and stiff copper wire to make these hookups inside the enclosure. But while going through the racks, I got very excited when I found this copper wire in different colors. So I decided, like, you know what, I'm going to wind this toroid again. And I'm going to use 3 distinct colors. So I'm going to use red, green and blue for the 3 different windings on this toroid, making it more easier to identify each and every layer. And I want to share this with you guys here through YouTube. So next video will be about. So here we are, ready to start winding the toroid for the BLT Plus from Hendrix QRP kits. I chose 3 different colors of enameled copper wire as opposed to the single color that came with the kit. That was also a bit too short. I had the red one is 30 inches, the green one is 22 inches, and the blue one is 13 inches, respectively for L1, L2 and L. So we're starting off here with the first coil for the toroid, the 30-inch piece of, in this case I chose the red enameled copper wire. We need to create a center tap. There are many ways of doing it. You could just scrape a little bit in the middle and solder a center tap on it. I choose to the following route. First we found the middle by folding over the cable with the wire, and then strip the center 1.5 inch. Now I just stripped the center 1.5 inch. This leads 3/4 of an inch, and we're just nicely gonna twist it a couple of times very tightly, so we create a center tap where we can later hook our transceiver on. So there you go. Next step is to start winding the first coil, and it says it needs 16 windings. So we're going to start off in the middle here with our central tap that we just created, and we're going to nice and tight thread the wire through the toroid like this, and every time the wire passes through the center of the toroid, that's counted as 1 winding. Okay, so this is 1, that's 1, and I'm not quite sure how to call the middle one. I'm confused about it. We'll see if we can get some help from somebody else online. So now we have to continue to thread the wire through the toroid until we establish 8 windings on each side of the center tap. So here we are, finished the first winding, 16 in total, 8 on each side, center tab, nice and stripped, ready to go. And here the 12 turns of the 22-inch green enameled wire, and I started off in the middle. I decided to secure the center by just going over underneath the center for the first time, and now we are twisting the wire in the same direction as we did the first winding, between the other ones, and in this case we have to go 6 turns in each direction to make a total of 2. And finally the 6th turn of the 12-inch blue wire that I chose, again determining the middle by folding it over and then hooking it up here, and start again, continue to thread the wire through the center of the toroid in the same direction as the other windings. So nice here, keep it in the middle in order so you don't run out short with wire in the other end, and nice and tightly distribute the windings on top of the other windings, and in this case it will be just 3 turns in each direction, making 6 in total. And I really like using here the different colors of wiring, since it really is easy to see and distinguish the various layers. Make sure you pack them as tight as possible, and I even use a pair of pliers to squeeze them down a bit to give it a nice intimate. And here we are. Here is the Toroid ready to be installed in the Hendrix QRP kit, the BLT Plus.